Let's see. Where were we in the Alan Wake? And Kinky One. As if y'all didn't already know this. Right. We were at the lodge. We woke up and Dr. Emil Hartman is like telling us that it's all in our head. We made it all up. It was fiction. Our writers invented it. It's not real. She's got therapy, but it's evil therapy. Which, yeah, it kind of is, yeah.
But it could be my only chance of getting out of here.
Where the hell did he get a damn hammer? I don't know. Hammer's up. Here's a friendly poke from Creole Neil. Oh, afraid of the crazy brothers, are ya? Not so weak now, are we?
Oh my goodness. Eliza Peavod's anywhere. No, I'm sorry, I didn't save them. Ugh. I save like my analysis videos and the rabbit hole ones.
Things are unraveling fast, aren't they?
Gosh, we have not even talked about the fact that these two old guys are Thor and Odin. When's the next co-op stream with Yeen? It's a good question. If I can get Gollum running, maybe I should do that. Here's the thing.
It's my store. I'm taking it.
Here's why this therapy is evil. Is because it's got trademarks. It's got trademarks on it. That's what makes it evil. It's not therapy, it's a product.
Hartman had mentioned that the power had been acting up. Maybe that was the reason for the generator and the work light on the balcony. The generator hadn't been activated, and there was no key.
A key to a generator? Alright, I guess. Boy needs product.
Hartman kept talking, giving Barry the grand tour, clearly proud
Do
of
have
the place.
keys.
He went on and on about his hunting trophies, and Barry was impressed. But he was here on business. He raised his voice, cut through the monologue. Hey, Hartman, where's Al? Hartman stopped in mid-sentence, annoyed at the interruption. He nodded at the hulking orderly standing nearby. The man smiled and clapped a practiced hand on Barry's shoulder.
So here's one thing that's kind of interesting about this is that what I like here is that when Hartman's leading us around the lodge and telling us about like the therapy and stuff, Hartman thinks that he's the one manipulating Alan, right? He's like, oh, I'm totally using this guy, I'm totally fooling him, I'm totally gaslighting him. Unaware that he is not talking to Alan Wake, that he's a character in Alan Wake's story, talking to another character that Alan came up with, you know? I think there's something interesting about that. Who therapies the therapist? Generally other therapists that specialize in that kind of thing, because therapy is actually a pretty stressful profession and they really need other people to talk to in order to decompress.
Sinclair
It's kind of
looked
part of the
bad.
part of
That
the whole
wasn't a
thing.
love tap. The crazy old fart hit her hard. And if she was one of Hartman's goons, she had it coming. I could get the key to the office wing from
backstage is
Sinclair.
all yours, Tom. Seize your destiny.
Jeez.
Come out and face the
I
music,
had to get to
Birch.
Hartman's
It's
office.
time to
He had
pay
taken
the
all my
piper.
manuscript pages. That's where he'd been keeping them.
But that saying is way too long. It's not exactly pithy, is it? Someone who absolutely does not have control of the situation.
Maybe you could come out and beat our wrinkled, adult diapered asses for us, since you're so tough, Birch.
Get him, guys.
Road, man! You think we haven't seen punks like you before? Mortal knave!
So, these guys are not the only ones who call Alan Tom.
Men will literally write fiction about going to therapy instead of going to therapy.
True, though. There is an interesting thing going on here, because what they're referring to is Tom
And
Zane.
then Alan said, "You tried to gaslight me, but it is I whom art the true gatekeep girl boss."
True. Alan's girl bossing it up. Hey, One Arm, how are you? I fully believe these two are actually Thor and Odin stuck in human bodies until they die. God, maybe. There is definitely a possibility. There are several characters that confuse Alan Wake with Thomas Zane. And there's kind of a reason for that. Alan Wake and Thomas Zane are both characters that go to the cabin, go missing, are trapped by the dark presence when they try to save their wife. There's a lot of similarities between them, and they also look the same. In Alan Wake 2, Zane has the same actor as Alan Wake. Like, they've got the same face. But Alan Wake has a different voice actor, and Thomas Zane keeps the same voice as the FMV actor for Alan. There's a lot of similarities between them, and this is compounded by the fact that it's possible that Alan wrote Thomas Zane into existence, or that Thomas Zane wrote Alan Wake into existence, who then wrote this character Alan Wake into existence. And the truth is probably both, to some extent.
Yeah, you better hide, Birch. My wrath will break you.
I have read, hang on a sec. I have not read American Gods. I've read Good Omens. That's the one I read. Yeah? Oh?
The markings on the tape said they were recordings Hartman had made at the sessions with his patients. I saw Alice's name on one of them. For a moment, I couldn't breathe right.
Also, why is he recording on, like, magnetic tape? Who does that? This game takes place in 2009. Are you kidding? This art's pretty good, though. Look at this.
Matt, please insert that Escher drawing of the hand that is drawing the hand that this drawing the hand, etc.
Editor's notes.
Hartman wasn't happy. Mott could see it in his eyes. He quickly lowered his own. He had made a mess of it, and he knew it. The shame of failure was hard to bear. He hadn't expected Wake to say he needed more time, and he blurted out 2 days, less than Wake had asked for, to show him who was in charge. But that wasn't part of Hartman's plan.
So Hartman used one of his patients to say that he kidnapped Alice, even though, you know, he didn't.
The photo on the wall caught my attention. In it, the clinic staff was standing outside the lodge. I knew the man next to Hartman. He was the kidnapper. Hartman had been playing me all along.
Is it Hartman in Silent Hill 3, or am I thinking of someone else? You might be thinking of someone else.
Get out of here! Hartman, do you hear me?
Look at these wolves.
Crazy quack-ass.
Oh, they're pretty good.
Seriously, do you have any idea how much trouble you're in? I am famous. I represent a celebrity. They'll be looking for me.
I love you, Barry. Trimto Azuma, how are you? Well, welcome on in, Raiders. It's great to see you. A kitty assassin raid. You never know when they might pounce. Oh my goodness. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm enjoying some Alan Wake. This game is excellent. I've decided to go back to it after playing Alan Wake 2 with some fresh eyes and a mind for critical analysis, because I want to talk about what this game is saying. I want to talk about what this game is about. Because it's wild.
Now, Mrs. Wake, can you tell me about Alan's problems?
He's more and more
Where do I start?
all the time. The parties, he's so angry all the time. He's getting violent.
Do you mean with you?
No, not with me. No, never. Sometimes I almost wish Alan would take a swing at me, because at least that'd lead to a conversation.
That's unhealthy.
March out of. But no. Alan doesn't really sleep. And the work, well, he's not writing at all.
Would you recommend? Highly, yes.
Gets more and more frustrated. And I can't talk to him.
Yes. Tell me, Mrs. Wake, what would you say to him if he'd listen?
I don't know.
I think that the Alan Wake games are almost a successor to the Silent Hill ones. I love them.
I want to say, I look at you, and it's not you. Just some stranger who resembles you. Looking out from behind your eyes. And I don't like that guy much. And now it's all gonna go to hell.
But you don't ever say this.
No. I've tried, but he's not listening. He's too deep in his own problems, always going on about something else. I'm so afraid I'm gonna lose him, and we're not even talking anymore. He doesn't let me in anymore. He just keeps me in the dark.
In the dark.
I'm so alone here, even when he's home. Please help me, Doctor, because I'm at my wit's end.
Well, if you can just get him here, I'll absolutely do my very best.
Yeah, but Doctor, you need to be careful with him. He's not just going to listen to you and cooperate. He's the most stubborn man I've ever met.
Well, I'll be sure to bear that in mind.
Hearing her voice, what she was saying made me happy and sick and guilty all at once. Worst of all, I recognized the words. The phone call from her. It had been a cut-up of this. Just a recording.
Ah, okay. So this is where Emilia, okay, so Dr. Hartman used parts of this recording to make that phone call. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I really like the line, I look at him and it looks like him, but it's not him. Like, that there's somebody else looking like Alan Wake and walking around. Because there's two things going on there. Obviously, the character we're playing is an Alan Wake who is not the real Alan Wake, but a character written by Alan. Hartman knew Alex was a writer and would be coerced to the cabin. For sure. But that's like, oh, it is foreshadowing because when she's saying that, she is talking about the real Alan Wake, not the character, right? But there is that, and this is also leading up to a character that will show up later named Mr. Scratch, who exists because the writers of Alan Wake really liked Twin Peaks, and the end of Twin Peaks season 2 is a evil version of Cooper who is existing in Cooper's body. Good or accurate therapist characters in media? I cannot think of very many. I cannot think of many at all. But yeah, the idea of doppelgangers is going to be a big one in this game. There's also like, oh my goodness. There's also a thing going on.
Who has read the Silent Hill strategy guide knows that we
No, not that.
Gamers watch as Bun slowly sizzle into a pile of ashes.
I hate Christoph Gans so much. Ted Lasso. There's yeah. The Sopranos has a relatively good one, I think. I think she's all right. Isn't Mr. Scratch a nickname for the devil? Yes. Yeah, also known as Old Scratch. Yep. But it's actually named that for a different reason. We'll get to it. We'll get to it later. Speaking of names, I want to talk really, really quick about how Sam Lake is literally just Hideo Kojima from Finland. I just want to point something out real quick. We need to take a look. Hang on, let me pull it up. Okay, here's what I want to take a look at real quick. Okay, Dr. Emil Hartman is the name of the psychologist, therapist, the name of the therapist, right? So Hartman, obviously, because he is emotionally inclined, he's a heart man, right? Okay, but what if I took an eraser and I did this? Okay, what now? What now? I love stupid shit like this. I love this. This cannot be that on the nose, no. Yeah, like, come on. It's got to be on purpose, right? The main character is Awake, yes. Like, the names are very much on purpose. Oh, it's so stupid. I love it. I actually just unironically love it. You know when Kojima has an explanation for like a name or something and you just go, you groan like it's a pun? Because most of the time it is. Like when Kojima was talking about why Drebin, the gun runner in Metal Gear Solid 4, is called that, and he's like, oh, it's named after the character from Police Squad, because Drebin is able to make a naked gun because he can strip the ID codes from the weapons and make a naked gun. Oh my god. I love it. Yeah, no, like that's, yeah. His wife's name is Alice, and she falls down a metaphorical rabbit hole in a literal lake. True. Oh my god. I love this kind of thing. It's really dumb, but I love it.
Barry?
Ow! About time!
Barry! Man, am I glad to see you. We need to get to Hartman's office.
It's right next door.
You okay?
Yeah. I mean, no! The cops found me at Rose's trailer, but they didn't hassle me too much.
Barry,
I'm
why do you have...
obviously a victim in this, and
Oh,
I
forget it.
demanded to be treated as such. Or else I'd sue their asses. Speaking of asses, that Fed gave me a real hard time, but I had no clue where you were. That guy's crazy, Al. But he let me go, and then I get a call from Hartman, that son of a bitch, who tells me you're here, and I should come pick you up, but when I got here, 2 goons clobbered me and stuck me in there.
What's with the cutout?
I stole it from the diner to piss off Rose after what she did to us. That'll teach her.
Yeah, that's a harsh
Yeah.
punishment. Come on, pal, we gotta get going.
You show her. Barry's having a day. What was the deeper meaning of Barry's name? Barry Wheeler? I'll have to think on that one a little bit. Barreled Wheeler. Yeah, he carried the cutout all the way here and held onto it when he got knocked out. Yeah. Which is great. Jeez. So the cardboard cutout I really like because it's played for laughs, but at the same time, it's sort of cluing us into a little bit of the plot. Like, we don't know yet that the Alan Wake we're playing as is a character created by Alan Wake, but like, so is Alan's like public like his public facing persona is also a creation of fiction, right? It goes back to that idea I was talking about like the Jungian version of the Jungian idea of self, where the persona is the like outward, it's the mask that you wear, it's the outward face that you present to the world, it's a caricature you make of yourself in order to present to others. And I feel like that's what this cardboard cutout is. It's like Alan's mask staring back at him.
Barry goes through this whole game with a cardboard cutout of Alan. And also a standee.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it, yes. Yeah. Is Barry the Sam of the game? Like the Samwise Gamgee? Yes. Barry is 100% the, I can't carry your burden for you, Alan, but I can carry you. 100%, yeah.
These were all the pages I had on me. And more.
Alan, please. You're sliding back into the...
Tell me one more lie and I'll shoot you in the face.
Ah, well, it was worth a shot. Really, Wake, come on. Let's work together on this. You have no idea...
Hartman, shut up! Barry, get out of here. I'll catch up with you. Get a car.
Oh, Al, let's just...
Go!
Okay.
Wake, listen to me. This is a mistake. Don't you see? Together we can create something absolutely wonderful. With your ability and mine.
Well. Okay.
The dark presence would be on me in a moment. I had to find a way out.
I got you a gift, Hartman. Consider it your dark presence. Maybe I'll workshop that one a little bit. Whee! I love all the furniture flying around. This is cute.
I needed light to get the possessed bookshelves out of my way.
Yeah, sure. Look at him go. Oh, the bear. The bear's good. Oh, I guess I do have a key now. Kinda. Yeah. Man, just said possessed bookshelves. He really did, though. Ow. Oh, right. Okay, now the bookshelves are on. Okay, I get it. I see what's up. Okay, now we got a flare. I love when shit's this haunted. And it's making all the furniture fly around. Like, that's fun.
Hartman knew he was no creator. He had no ambitions on that front. And he certainly didn't want to end up like every artist he had worked with here, damaged in ways that were hard to describe, or worse. It was enough for Hartman to maintain creative control and provide direction, to be a producer. That was what most of these people were in need of anyway. Of course, suitable subjects were few and far in between.
Your Astrophy, thank you so much for the follow, my fur and whiskers. How are you? Oh my god. Producers the waste of the earth? Sort of. You know how I said one of the problems in this game is that they present a bad example of a therapist, but they don't give us a good one? And that's one of the things that makes this representation like problematic, is because there's just not a there's not a foil for Hartman. There's not a good example of what therapy would look like for Alan. There is a good example of what a producer would look like for Alan, though, and that's Barry. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, Barry cares about Alan more than, like, the money, whereas Hartman cares about the product more than the people making it. Like, he doesn't give a fuck that these people are, like, damaged. He doesn't give a fuck that, like, these people are creators. He doesn't give a fuck what they're making or what they're trying to say with it. He just cares about the thing being produced. He's a producer in the sense of he owns the studio. You know? Hi, Dovey. How are you? It's a good time to watch TV. I cannot hear it though. Could the Doctor in Act 2 have been the foil? Maybe. A little bit. Uh-oh. Okay. Orb. Excuse me, orb. Can I scooch by you here? Okay. Thank you. All right, right over this way. Looking good. You have not missed the musical, no. Woo!
Ow, ow! I'm here!
Did this or Downpour come out first? Because this is just a Downpour Otherworld segment. That's a good point. This came out first, I believe.
I found the car, but the gate's locked. You're gonna have to go through the hedge maze over there.
Barry, I don't have a light.
Take this, Al.
Oh, Barry.
Oh God! Look at the house, Al. Look out!
I see. Get to the hedge maze! Get up on the Hydra's back, Al! Silent Hill Downpour? That's the one, yeah. Yeah, that was 2 years after this? Started Alan Wake 2? That's a good game. I like that one. House is getting all dark. Their kind ill likes fire, Alan.
He's out. The house looks bad. Let's get out of here.
Okay, so I've got a couple bullets. You know what this does do, though? Both this and Silent Hill Downpour have this bad habit of going to a new chapter and just taking away all of your supplies. And it's one of the things that I think prevents this from being considered a survival horror game. And it functions more like an action game. 'Cause, like, in a Resident Evil or a Silent Hill or something like that, you're constantly trying to manage the resources you've got. And if you ran into a cutscene that just took away your guns and ammo and batteries, that would be just fucking frustrating. Just kind of annoying. And when Silent Hill Downpour does it, yeah, it is. It is really fucking annoying. Especially because a bunch of the side quests in Downpour reward you with unique weapons that you then want to save for, like, big fights, because you get cool, unique weapons, and then the game just takes them away from you once you get into a cutscene.
Al, hurry up! I can hear those evil guys moving around.
I mind it less when Alan Wake does it, but it's still a little annoying. Alan Wake is bad at keeping track of available resources in his writing. Do you think it's lampshaded like that? Don't trust Emil! Silent Hill 2 does that one time. Silent Hill 2 does that one time, but it makes you put the resources away, and then you get them back afterwards. it makes it feel much more voluntary. Like, you're putting the resources in that locker. They're not being stolen from you by a cutscene.
I stared at the Viking paraphernalia that littered the area, surrounding an unlikely centerpiece. A full-size stage complete with an impressive sound system with all the trimmings, including a dragon. It took a special kind of crazy to build something like this in a remote field. When the sky split open with a deafening boom and the music started blasting, it felt strangely appropriate.
Partner is dying of cringe and bad drinks right now? What'd you get, a bottle of Malort or something? Hedgeways wandering around the woods, but formalized.
Al, be careful! I can see them moving around! They're coming for you!
I do like that Alan Wake 2 has a few more indoor environments, which feel like something that's missing from this game.
Having your shit stolen from you randomly by cutscenes is just the ADHD experience. I had it a second ago.
You know what? A little bit, yeah. There we go. Based and Malort pilled. That shit's nasty. Manuscript.
Hartman hurried down the corridor. He had disliked leaving Wake when he was surely at his most susceptible to therapy. But this was not an ordinary storm. Wake had been writing, and he had woken something up in the depths of the lake. Now, it was coming for him. Hartman had naturally prepared for a situation like this. The idiot brothers would keep Wake distracted while Hartman double-checked everything, just to be sure.
Yeah, that didn't go well for him, didn't it? Malort can't be as bad as Jägermeister. I'm sorry. Can't it? Are you sure about that? I'm sorry, but it can, and it is. I don't know if you know this, but Malort is made with what is that? Woodworm? Fucking... Ugh. Oh, it's like if you mixed Jägermeister and... Wormwood, thank you. If you mixed Jägermeister and absinthe. Created by a man who had all his sense of taste and smell destroyed by the factories. The thing about Malort is that Malort was allowed during Prohibition because if a cop caught you on the street with a bottle of Malort and tasted it, they would never believe that someone was drinking that for recreational purposes.
You get 2 pills in the morning, and then you'll be nice and calm all day long. You get 3 pills in the evening.
Oh, it's the fucking...
Light seems to be lost. That way we don't have any trouble, and I don't.
Okay, there we go. I just wanted to take him out first. I don't know why the orderly gets to control the birds, but, you know. It's a little bit confusing thinking about, like, the Taken here. Oh, the VA is going ham on this for sure. So the thing I like about the Taken is that the things that they're saying have all of the emphasis in the wrong places. A little bit like the guy from Half-Life 2. They just kind of have very, very weird intonations. Yeah, the G-Man, that's the one. They have very weird intonations. They put syllable stress in the wrong places. And they're speaking the words like either they learned them phonetically or that they don't understand the meaning of them. So they don't know how to emphasize the right ones in the right places, right?
Regrettably, I've never tried Malort, but I hope it's been established by that time I tasted my contact lens fluid, that I'm deeply curious about its badness.
If you're ever in Chicago, you owe it to yourself to try Malort one time so that you never have to do it again. Give me 1 sec. I gotta clear my throat. Ugh, still got a little bit of phlegm from being sick. Gross. Ugh, thick Malort. Jeez. Gosh. So I do know that, okay, so I understand that he's using like medical terminology here and that's being played for horror, but I do think it's similar to the way that the other Taken are treated, where the things they're saying are part of their job. But also I feel almost like some of the stuff he's saying are like,
Phoebe the Coffee, which gifted a tier 1 sub to Pink
Phoebe?
Cynicism. They have given 28 gift subs in the channel.
Phoebe, thank you so much for that gift sub. Oh my gosh. Gosh. I feel like some of the things that he's saying to Alan could either be read off of a prescription bottle or be left as a note.
Only 30 minutes left of work. Then I might head down to the Alan Steak and Alan Shake. Wish me luck.
Good luck. Get yourself a good steak burger. So yeah, like I feel like the things that the Taken are saying are things that could have been put into writing at some point. Like they are contained in media. Because they're saying things from like advertising slogans from television or the kind of things that you might read off the back of a pill bottle. And the way that they're saying it implies that they don't really understand the meaning behind them. They're just words to use. And I think that's because the Dark Presence doesn't understand language. I don't think it can, like, I don't think it knows what words mean. It just knows that it can use them for its purpose. Dark Presence is stupid? I mean... So the thing about the Dark Presence is that it's capitalism. It doesn't care about artists. It doesn't care about art. It doesn't care about work or labor. What it cares about is product. It cares about the end result, and it doesn't care how to get there. it doesn't see art as having meaning. It sees it as having value in its existence and ownership. And that value to the dark presence is existence, but to capitalism, it's money, right? It is a little bit of an algorithm. You could definitely take that reading to it. I mean, Alan Wake was made at a time where that wasn't a thing, but it is strangely appropriate to look at it as like, oh, the dark presence is AI art, because it's stealing all of this work from other artists and putting it into an algorithm and bringing it out of context so that it can create new things out of derivative media, right? So it kind of fits the same mold as being an AI algorithm. That is a totally valid reading. But yeah, I mean, it's also the same thing that capitalism does. And Hartman is the kind of person who sees themselves as a beneficiary of capitalism. Hartman wants to use capitalism to gain money and power. He wants to be an owner. He wants to be a producer. He wants to, he wants to trademark things, to own things, to get value from the things that he owns. And eventually he is consumed by the system that he's trying to take advantage of. I just think that's what we're trying to say here. Hartman's therapy also exists the way that it does because capitalism doesn't really do things like therapy in order to help people. Capitalism will provide like welfare or, therapy or counseling or things like that, but it's not with the purpose of making people healthier or better. It's to keep them productive. The end goal of therapy under capitalism is to get people back into the workforce. And that's what Hartman is doing, right? He's invented this. He's invented his own, therapy methods, the flow, trademark, etc., to make money off of it, but also, to get these artists producing art again. He doesn't care what, but just making them make things, Staying just sick enough to work and pay for this medicine? Kind of, yeah. I'm sorry, I never...
Mott knew that Wake was smarter than him. Wake had more money, a beautiful wife, everything. And Hartman said Wake was important. That made him better than Mott. But Mott was calling the shots now. He'd expected Wake to whimper and grovel, but instead, he seemed willing to fight. Mott knew he'd gotten under Wake's skin. If only Mott actually had his wife. The thought made him shiver.
You know what's... There's an interesting element of... Fight Club to this particular one right here. You know what I mean? Wake was smarter than him. Why was he smarter than him? He had money, a beautiful wife. Like, there are these, I guess, classically masculine signifiers of success that it's just, it's weird. It's gross, right? Hate it. I really like Fight Club, by the way. I don't like people who like Fight Club. They're bad. But Fight Club itself, as a commentary on toxic masculinity and, like, impotence, and the failures of capitalism and how it radicalizes men, how men suffer under the patriarchy. It's interesting. It's fascinating. Good stuff. It's like MLP or Rick and Morty. Being a fan is a red flag. You have to explain why you're a fan. At least with ponies, it's like, oh, I'm a My Little Pony fan and also a furry. And then it's like, oh, okay. Oh, you're probably cool then. Oh my god.
People make like le manager personality. Le create.
Ugh, yeah. Yeah. So relieved I no longer live in the I'm a My Little Pony fan. Trans or Nazi? Cultural zeitgeist. Hmm. Oh my gosh, Ash! Heckin! Oh my goodness. Ash, thank you for the gift subs. Oh my goodness. That is so sweet of you. Talk about Fight Club in public and a rando in a Punisher shirt and a blue line that says that's a great movie. Ugh. Very much, yeah. Oh, I do like, yeah, you're right. There's these like mountains back here. I would refer to these as Twin Peaks. Oh, that's cool. They put these Twin Peaks out here. Probably no reason for that, but...
So you're a fan of Fight Club, yet here you are breaking the first rule of Fight Club? Interesting.
Boobas, a real pair of mountains. Twin Peaks the bar? Oh no. Can I bust out my Twin Peaks picture again? Where did I put it? I always lose it. Oh, here it is. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to open up my own restaurant. I'm going to open up my own place. This is it. I'm going to compete with Femboy Hooters. With my own restaurant. Goodness. The creamed corn you can eat. Oh my god. God, I hope that's ranch.
For the moment, Barry was just glad he had survived the fall. He had been separated from Al, and there was no easy way to climb back up. He told himself he'd be okay in the gloomy forest at night. He would just have to wait for a while for Al to find his way down. Barry turned when he heard the heavy footsteps and saw the movement. The man-shaped shadow lunged at him from the bushes, an axe held high. Barry screamed and threw up his hand. The world exploded.
Page. Why are you like this?
I'm sorry, I can't help it. I don't know. I think we're making some decent progress in this game. The fact that no one has ever made a Femboy Hooters is proof the free markets don't work. True. Big true. No, I dodged. I swear to God I dodged that. This combat's a little finicky. As far as I know, I don't think we're gonna see Hartman again until the AWE DLC for Control.
Hartman watched as Wake's features slackened. The man was bullheaded, no doubt. Even lying on the bed, he'd almost broken Hartman's nose the second time. But with a little time, he could break Wake down, give him proper direction. Wake was easily the most promising subject he'd had. Well, since Tom, really. Sleep well, Alan. Smile. Let me take care of you. He sniffed hard to clear his throbbing nose, swallowed blood, and barely tasted it.
So, This is confusing. Can we talk about this one? Because I actually have a question about this. So, you know, in Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, how at the end of that, they have to write Xion out of existence so that nobody remembers her? No. Follow me here. Go, hang on a sec. So nobody can remember Xion, or else she's gonna steal all of Sora's memories, right? So they have to write her out of existence in a way that nobody remembers her, right? Okay, so the same thing happens to Tom Zane. No, I swear to God! No, this is for real though! No, seriously, Tom Zane wrote himself out of existence. That's why nobody can find his writing or remember him. So why does Hartman remember him though? Why does Hartman say since Tom? Interesting. Proximity? Perhaps. I know why Tor and Odin remember Tom, and it's because they're unaffected by the story. They are outside of the context of the narrative. It's Alan. They put bugs in him. Hartman, potential para-utilitarian. You might be right. That might actually be right. That is one option. Here's the other one, though. Here's my other idea.
When you say nobody remembers, do you mean not one person remembers, or that the nobodies remember? This is KH after all.
No. The nobodies are who have to forget. Nobody has to forget that Xion exists. Is para-utilitarian a lore thing in this game? It's not mentioned in this game, but it is, yes. Yeah, that is a concept that is introduced in Control. So they don't use that word in this game, but yeah, it's part of the same universe. Who's the Goofy of Alan Wake? Barry, obviously. Barry and Alan's cardboard cutout are Goofy and Donald.
We told you about tying everything back to Kingdom Hearts.
Wait until the cardboard cutout uses Zeta Flare to beat a bunch of take. You just wait. Who's Riku? Probably Scratch. Oh, no, you know what? Okay, so if Alice is Kairi, because Alan's looking for her. Right, okay. And then, hang on a sec. Okay. Scratch is Norded Alan. Right. Right. So Scratch is probably closer to Roxas. No, wait. We're playing as Roxas because we're playing as Alan's nobody. So Alan's in the lake right now, and that means he's asleep in the pod, and they're putting the memories back in him from Kingdom Hearts 2. So right now we're playing as Roxas in the digital Twilight Town, right? So he broke the tarts. Yeah. So that makes Hartman Diz. Right. Okay, yeah. No. Yeah, that makes... Okay. No, I'm putting it together. Or do you think he would be Ansem?
Have we found the thesis for Bun's next video? Why Alan Wake is a Kingdom Hearts game?
So Riku would probably be Tom then. Kingdom Hartman?
Ow! You're alive!
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. You know what? That reminds me. I don't know. Asking about Christopher Lee reminded me that I cut this the other day. Oh no, if I put it in here, is it going to be loud? I don't want it to be loud. Where did you go? Where did I put it? Christopher Lee definitely could have been in this game. It's certainly possible. He could have been. Ah, here it is.
The events that you are
this
about
in
to
here.
experience may, in some small way, shed light on the complexities of gender dysphoria.
What did he mean by that? What did Christopher Lee mean by that? IPN Bottles, thank you for the follow. Would have been too on the nose. His name is Evil Hartman.
Let's get out of here. Can you open this gate?
Maybe.
Barry.
Well, I slammed it shut when the nasty showed up, and the key fits kind of loose in the lock, so,
Yeah, I'll work on it, Alan. Maybe we could do like a wave-based combat arena while I open this up.
Barry! I'll find
Just
it,
show
don't
that
worry about it!
Christopher Lee clip at the start of every Bun's dream.
It might, though. Shoot the lock.
Hurry up, Barry.
I'm on it! I'm on it!
Here, come on. Oh no. Ow! Alright, I'm gonna drop another one of those. Barry, please. You, Barry, the master of unlocking? You're doing great, Barry. Keep it up. Good job. Okay, there we go. It's a weapon. It's extremely powerful. It's extremely useful against living things. I'm a little worried that they're just going to hit one body and instead of disappearing, it's just going to shoot blood all over the car. Also, I do love the cardboard cutout of Alan in the background. That's great. That's really good in the back seat there.
I just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
The cardboard cutout saying
I saw
that?
the face of Jesus in my margarine tub. I said I can't believe it's not Buddha.
Oh my god, no.
Alan Wake
Please tell me we're
Stampy's
headed for
best
the nearest
character.
"You're now leaving Bright Falls. Come back soon" sign.
We're going to the Anderson farm.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. You know what? You owe me big time for this. When this is through,
The
if
what?
we make it, I don't care what anybody says, I'm done with darkness. You're gonna buy me a tanning bed as a gift, and I'm gonna live in it.
To be fair, a tanning bed would take care of those taken no problem. You do love that.
I'm crazy, but that's fine, Barry.
Oh, you got that right, Al. You're barking mad. You are by far the
But
craziest.
maybe that's inevitable when you deal with crazy stuff like this. It helps. This is happening, Barry. Alice, they never had Alice. She's trapped in the darkness at the bottom of the lake, but she's not dead.
Al, how can you know that?
I know, Barry. I can...
Al,
No, listen. I can bring her back. I can find her. There's
'Cause that's how it's
something
written,
special
Barry.
about this place. The lake, it does something to the works of art created here. It makes them come true. But there's a catch. The dark presence, whatever that thing is, twists it to its own ends. That's why all of this is happening. It's using my manuscript to take over everything.
Al, I believe you.
It happened to Thomas Zane before, it happened to the Andersons.
I believe you. Crazy or not, you're not delusional. Weird shit's going down. That's a fact. I'm on board, man. I'm with you.
The Andersons knew about it, but they were too
Barry's
far
a real
gone
one.
to tell me with all the drugs they were on. But
Barry,
they wrote it down.
Alan,
There's a message
Therese,
somewhere
a
at their
flashlight
farm,
joke
Barry.
here somewhere.
We just need to find it.
Look out!
Whee!
Al! God damn it, Al, talk to me!
Do a flip.
I had lost my gun in the crash. Barry was nowhere.
God
to be
damn it.
seen.
Wait, is Under the Lake Alan the
Barry!
master of masters?
Barry!
Oh, man, you're okay! Jeez, it's good to hear your voice! I was trying to get out of the car, but the ground gave way. Man, what a drop! Don't worry, your cutout is fine.
Forget
Oh,
that.
thank God.
Are you okay?
I hit some bushes, didn't get a scratch. There's no way you can climb down, though. It's like a sheer wall.
Barry can't die. He's invincible.
Al, there's something moving down here!
Barry, it's a taken! Use a flare, Barry!
Oh, yeah!
Barry, are you alright?
I'm good, Al. I'm great. Guess you never messed with anyone from
Flary
New York City
Barry.
before, huh?
This is a really good shot.
You're gonna have to find your way around to the farm, Al. I'll be waiting.
Barry, just
This is
wait for
cute.
me, okay?
Al, I'm not staying here. It's suicide. I'm going to the farm. I'm gonna go ahead and secure the area. You can catch up. Don't worry about it. I'm on the case.
Now he's Rambo. This would turn into a disaster if I didn't catch up with Barry.
Oh, same, Giab. I hope the cardboard cutout is like, there's a little button on it and it's like, I'm Alan Wake, master of horror. Please buy my new book, The Sudden Drop. Available at bookstores now. That's the best. Author, Dreamweaver, visionary, plus actor.
No, bud. The cutout says buy my book. Buy my book. Buy my book.
I believe it. I'd buy that book.
When he stopped the car at the Anderson farm, Walter felt relieved. Oblivion was close at hand. The brothers wouldn't miss a jar of moonshine or two in the booby hatch. But then he saw the man on the porch, and he knew who it was. Driving for his life and knowing it was useless, he didn't realize he was crying until he couldn't see the road for the tears.
Huh. I think I had a shirt with one of those ones. I should buy Alan's book. I wonder if they actually released any of the Alex Casey books. That was cute. It's a little jiggly barrel. They were Max Payne 1 and 2. Fair. Yes. Yes, they were. It's an ad for Sam's Amazon publishing shop. Oh, this is all an ad for Sam Lake's Amazon publishing shop.
Shadows crawled over the gate. I needed a light to destroy them to get through.
Well, probably went around somewhere. Manuscript.
Agent Nightingale stared at the passed-out rider. The man was sleeping off one hell of a night. Nightingale felt a stab of envy at Wake's oblivion, but he had a job to do. He put the gun to Wake's head and almost became a murderer. His hand shook and his throat felt tight and dry. Biting his teeth, he tried again to pull the trigger. He lost the nerve. Wake stirred. Nightingale would have to settle for an arrest.
Good night, Marvellius. Thanks for hanging out. Yo, Nightingale sucks. Man, I hope that guy dies. Whee! Have there been any inconsistencies between manuscript and the game? That's a great question, actually. There have not been
I could sense the movement in the woods ahead.
yet.
Facing the enemy without a weapon was dangerous, but I had no choice.
Not as far as I can remember, at least. Things get a little bit different in Alan Wake 2, though. Oh, do I have time? I do not. Alright, gotta get out of here then. Yeah, I'm not sure how much the manuscript can actually deviate from reality. For a couple of reasons. Somehow still awake. So is Alan. He is awake.
A car was driving away from the farm, headed in the same general direction as I was. For all I knew, it was Barry, caught in the consequences of leaping before looking.
Yeah, there's two reasons that that reality would be able to deviate from the manuscript. One of which is if Alan's writing doesn't fit the story, it doesn't necessarily come true. Like there's an element of the writing where it has to be like internally consistent.
The car was heading for the cabin up ahead. It wasn't far. If it was Barry, I would see the damage soon.
Damage. Big damage. So if the writing is actually good, then it becomes real? Not good, necessarily. No. Just consistent.
I'm trying to deliver each page to the right time and place. I'm trying to show you how the story goes.
And there we have an explanation for where the pages come from.
I'd seen it in my dream. It was a strange spaceman or a diver in a bulky suit. He was the one who'd been placing the pages on my path.
So he didn't just write a power fantasy? Exactly. Because it has to become, like, no matter what he's writing, it's becoming a horror. So he has to keep consistent with the genre. So there's a bright light in our path that is leaving us not only these pages, but also probably the flashlights and guns and ammo and a bunch of other stuff. It's incredibly useful for us. Which would make a lot of sense if Alan wrote it as part of the story. You know what I mean? He has to pace it a certain way too. Yes. Very much so, yes. Because there's two things going on. One of which is Alan has to Alan's writing has to fit the narrative, but also the writing that Alan is doing is being twisted by the dark presence. So like the creativity in his head is being shaped by that as well.
Grand control to Major Wake. Take your manuscript and plusieurs variants.
The dark presence followed the choreography laid out to it in the manuscript, growing stronger and stronger, moving like a storm from one scene of destruction to the next. But it was still bound to follow the story and chained to the dark place it came from. When the story reached the end it longed for, it would finally be free.
So that's its goal, is that it's going to spread and escape the lake. Alan has to write a story that is going to prevent that from happening, but also that story is being edited by the dark presence that wants that ending. So now he's in conflict between the ending that he wants, which would be the good ending, and the ending that the dark presence wants. love the idea of an esoteric, otherworldly presence that feeds on creativity but can't do anything itself because it is aphantasia. That's kind of what's going on here, yeah. It's also a little bit similar to, and I talked about this during like when we were playing Silent Hill, because Silent Hill has a kind of similar conceit going on. Dean Koontz's Phantoms. Which is a story about an eldritch entity that lives underneath a town, I believe in Washington State. Or Alaska, one of those. North Pacific. And this, it was Washington? Okay, so the same place as Alan Wake takes place. It's an underground presence. It's not coal, it's actually oil. But it's a eldritch entity that consumes the people of the town and then manifests as their fears. The things that they're afraid of. Because it doesn't really have any form of its own.
Someone had left a gun behind. Now I had a fighting chance of reaching the farm.
Because when Alan Wake takes place in Oregon, I'm pretty sure it's Washington State, but I could be wrong. The clown from It, very similar, yeah. Could Alan trap the dark presence just by dragging out the story into a long series and stuck following the plot? That is what winds up happening. Alan spends, not to go too far into spoilers, but after this game, Alan is going to spend 13 years at the bottom of that lake writing different stories to keep trying to evade the dark presence, to keep trying to foil it.
The two most eldritch states, Massachusetts and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
The storm raged on as the Anderson brothers walked unsteadily away from the clinic with the other patients in tow, knowing that this time they wouldn't return. The darkness around them seethed with horrors, but Tor and Odin were unafraid. Their eyes glinted with guile. They knew every secret path, and there was blood on their hands. They had fought these shades before. Watch the VODs on 2x speed to catch up. Just watch this, it's much more chill at real speed. The Andersons are very good. I want to know how the fight between the Andersons and the Darkness actually went. There's quite a bit you can glean from it, actually.
Hooray. Lucky Bunyay.
Oh my goodness. Medibot, thank you for 7 months. Welcome back to the Court of Hearts, Your Majesty. What the heck is this structure, even? What do you think this even is? It's interesting there are other writers besides Alan Wake dealing with a similar situation in this game. Like an alternate perspective. Yes, there are other artists that the Darkness has been using. One thing that's not really explored in these games, however, is what if the Dark Presence is using multiple artists and pitting their art against each other? You know what I mean? The Darkness Dementia Raven Way, yeah. Sculptor would be the most fun. That would be a good one, yeah. we do see what the darkness does with different forms of art. Because we know, for instance, that Tom Zane was a poet. We know that the Andersons are musicians. In Alan Wake 2, we wind up seeing a little bit more of, like, what it would look like if it got its hands on a film. Or something even more esoteric. Photography is another one. But yeah, we don't really see it using multiple artists at once. And I feel like what it would be like is, decoupage. I mean, if you want to consider that art, I guess. Common misconception, Thomas Zane was actually a movie director. He once made a film about a poet. Correct, but also wrong. Well, yes, but actually no. What I think it would be like is in Silent Hill 2. The way that the dark presence, like the supernatural power beneath the town, manifests the darkness of multiple characters against each other. Like in Silent Hill 2, there's a bunch of scenes where you see Eddie, who's... the town is encouraging to shoot and kill people, right? So the town is manifesting people for Eddie to kill and then sink further and further into darkness. Whereas James has a desire for punishment. So the town is manifesting these things that represent James's punishment in order for him to sink deeper and deeper into the darkness that he's dealing with. And in the scenes where they interact with each other, you can see that some of the people that Eddie has been shooting, some of the corpses from Eddie's, like, from Eddie's massacre are James. So it's James seeing himself dead as punishment for what he did, but it's also Eddie giving into that desire to kill people for making fun of him, you know? So it's the town using both of them, like combining both of their manifestations together when they're in proximity. It's neat to see. There's a bunch of that going on in that game. And I feel like it would be cool if there was an Alan Wake game where it's different artists inspiring each other to make art that feeds into the dark presence's desires. Although I also feel like the dark presence probably isn't creative enough to come up with something like that. So mostly it's just Alan.
Hello? Anybody here? Barry!
No! Danny, you're not!
Okay, cool. Uh-huh, sure.
What are you?
All right, okay, cool.
Sorry!
Everything seems fine here. Everything seems pretty cool here. Actually, there is a bit of that in Alan Wake 2. There is a little bit of a collaboration that happens in that one. I guess we'll talk about that during Alan Wake 2. Normal cabin shit. None of my business, though. Evil Dead 2 had something like that? I should watch them Evil Dead movies. I actually have not. But maybe I should. Wonder if you could use AI to trap the presence, lock it in a loop of bland, lifeless anti-creativity. I want to say that I don't think that would work for 2 reasons.
I know you. You were in jail the other day.
Oh.
I went to the farm again.
What's your name, Walter?
For the moonshine, you know? It makes you see. They're not gonna miss it. They're in the loony bin. But my buddy, Danny, I lost him. Something's gone wrong with him. It's not him.
Mm-hmm.
Like a real bad follow-up to a real good movie. The best friend's suddenly the bad guy. Who wrote this crap anyway?
I really like that line. It's very good. It's really fucking good. It's a neat quote.
I've run through every possible course in my head. If I continue like the dark...
I'm worried that that could have been set up for Barry turning evil in Alan Wake too. You know? Barry's too good though. He can't do that. I think there's 2 reasons that the Dark Presence couldn't use AI. One of them is that AI can't make art. It's not creative. And I don't think it's able to use that. Like, I think it requires imagination. And the other reason is because the writing of AI isn't internally consistent. There's no way that it would be able to follow a theme, use tropes, and like come up with a narrative that's consistent to its genre.
Wants me to. The story I'm writing won't save Alice. It's a horror story, and it's going to kill her, and me, and everybody in this town. No one will survive. Darkness will consume everything. This is what it's wanted all along. It will be free, unstoppable. It used Alice to get to me, dangled her in front of me to keep me going. It was never going to release her. I'm going to change this. I'll escape. I've written myself into the story. I'm now the protagonist. This feels like a terrible risk, but it's the only way to save Alice. I'll be bound by the events of the story just as much as anyone else who's been woven into it. The story must stay true for this to work. There have to be victims along the way, near escapes, cliffhangers. In a horror story, it can't be certain that the hero will succeed or even survive. He almost has to die. I'll write my own escape into the story next. I need help. Zane's going to be the one who'll help me. I'll make it happen.
That's probably the most important thing that happens in this game. Right there, because it establishes how the Dark Presence works, what it wants. The fact that Alan's writing has to match it, the fact that the character we're playing as right now is Alan Wake writing Alan Wake and not the real one, and what Alan's goal is, which is to escape and to free Alice. It also establishes that he's now writing Thomas Zane into the story to help him escape. Which, at this point in the game, I feel like implies to the audience, with the knowledge that we have, that Thomas Zane is a creation of Alan Wake. The idea that nobody can remember him is because he didn't exist until Alan wrote him into existence just now, right? Oh my goodness, Falcon, thank you. Hello.
me guess. Danny, huh?
Yeah, and even though he's not writing his own story, it's not a guarantee of success. He can't write exactly what's going to happen.
Was locked.
It's got to follow the story.
The farm was still a good distance away. I'd need a car to get there fast.
Never actually meet Danny? I mean, that was probably him.
For a moment, Hartman considered strangling the idiot. Mott was mean-spirited, but easily manipulated. An emotional infant who lived for his approval. Wake, by contrast, was a far more difficult subject. Mott had given him too much leash. In 2 days, who knew what could happen? Hartman would have to find a way to rein him in, and quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mott is such a Renfield. You know what I mean? Oh, before he became taken? Yeah. Yeah, true. Does it look to anybody else like there's a figure in the window of the... the Firewatch tower back there? Toss treats. Secret other option. That's me? Oh, okay. I waved. Did you see it?
If Barry wasn't up here, he was probably in trouble down at the farm. For a moment, I felt bad for doubting him. After all, I'd made it this far myself. But Barry was Barry.
Hey, question? Real quick? Okay, I have a question. The fuck made these tire tracks? Who drove a monster truck up here? It wasn't this truck. For sure. Who drove Gravedigger up this hill? Oh my god. Okay, I know this is cursed, but for real though, can we just agree that Gravedigger is the Undertaker's Carsona? Alright, that's all I have to say about that. Sure. Oh, now they get narrow. Now they're narrow enough for the car to fit on. Sure Undertaker isn't Gravedigger's persona? You know? Perhaps? Perhaps. Messerschmitt KR200? Jeez.
Have some tacos on me tonight.
Oh, Switch, thank you. I will, actually. Oh my goodness.
BTW, there was a time in WCW when they had a for real monster truck sumo match.
Oh. Well, that sounds kind of cool. Sounds sick. They've been farm vehicle tracks. Yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely. So what's the arrow pointing to, do you think? How do we get into this place? I don't think I can go under here. Even though it looks like I should be able to go under here. Stuck farming for a dang sword? Oh, the Baldur longsword? Oh no. There's a door. It looked boarded up, but that maybe just be the door. Maybe I'm stupid. Okay, it looked boarded up though, didn't it? Like, this doesn't look passable. Somebody back me up. Thank goodness for yellow paint. Man, if there wasn't yellow paint in video games, I don't know what I'd do.
It's boards that go up, yes.
Yes. So the planks are vertical for doors? Yeah, exactly. That's the way of things. Also, every car in this game's battery is going to die. Why are the internal lights on? Is every door slightly ajar? One being facetious, I'm eating dinner and half paying attention. A little yellow paint is fine and helpful. Actually, camp? No. I'm in the pro yellow paint camp. I think yellow paint is good, actually. I've seen people say that it's a little too handholdy, but if your game is not about trying to figure out what is climbable and what isn't, then you should make that really easy for the audience. Like, if you're making a Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever, and your game isn't explicitly about the difficulty of climbing, if climbing should be easy for your character, then you should absolutely just...
Well, as I'm sure everyone's noticed, that storm we all felt coming is finally here. The boys at the Weather Service reckon it'll last until morning at the very least. Pertaining to that, let me read that missing persons alert again. The Sheriff's Department's still looking for a Caucasian woman, 30 years old, slim and blonde with blue eyes. She may be lost in the woods, and it's possible she's been injured in a car accident. If you see her, please make sure you get her indoors and call the sheriff. It's bad weather to be caught out in, so if you see someone in the area who maybe looks a little confused, give them a hand, all right? This is Pat Main on KBF FM, hoping you're all safe and warm tonight.
Alan Wake moment? Hey Rose, how you doing? Holy shit, it's Alan Wake. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm just enjoying this game. So the thing is, okay. Here's the long and short of the yellow paint argument. I'm just gonna put it out there, okay? People have compared yellow paint to, in like the new God of War, when you're trying to figure out a puzzle and one of the characters just blurts out the answer, right? The argument is sometimes that figuring out where or how to climb should be treated like a puzzle that the player is meant to figure out, right? That we shouldn't be handholded and just given the answer so much. And while I can agree with that argument, puzzles are fun to solve. And figuring out what is and is not climbable in the mechanics of the game usually is not. You can make that fun if that's what your game is about, in which case probably don't use the yellow paint. But if your game is not about that, and that part isn't fun, then you should use yellow paint and just let people know what is and is not interactable. That's it. The problem with blurting out the answer to a puzzle is that puzzles are meant to be fun to solve. So you're taking the fun away from the player so that a character can tell you the answer. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to take the fun part away from the player. So if you've made a fun game about climbing, then that's the fun part. Don't take it away from the player. But if you are just making a game about fighting giant robot dinosaurs, then make it easier for people to do that. Why switch vehicles? I like this one. This is a very 70s car. It looks kind of like mine. And I like that. Looks kind of like my car. Sam Raimi's car. I have a sort of burgundy red 1978 Ford Fairmont. The Futura model. The two-door. It's got an inline six.
You gotta be kidding.
That's the car that I drive. Oh, not there. Okay. So, weirdly, seeing that gap in the gate there, this is a weird place for my brain to go, but my brain was like, ah, yes, that gap in the wall, just like getting the Mako into places you're not supposed to get it in the speedrun for Mass Effect 1. Brains are weird. Here we go. Using too much of it, like half a breakable box should not be yellow. Other ways to indicate that is climbable. Different shade of rock. Yes. While I do agree with that, I don't mind that. I don't mind that yellow has become the go-to for that. The reason that yellow was used originally is I think it was either Uncharted or Last of Us, where they decided they had so much green in the environment that yellow stood out better. Because it's not a color you get a ton of in nature. So you're able to make environments where the yellow stands out. So what you should pick is a color that you don't have a lot of in your environments to create a contrast. That said, I do also feel like it's entered.
Watch out. The gap in the gate. It's a separate reality. The only me is me. Are you sure the only you is you?
Oh, they were excavator tracks. That makes sense. So the thing is that the yellow has entered gaming's vocabulary the same way that, like, if I pick up a new item in an RPG and it's purple, is that better or worse than the blue item that I have equipped now? And the answer is, it's gotta be better. If it's worse, you've made your game bad. We've all agreed that it goes white, green, blue, purple, and then you can either go like red or yellow. It's a little vaguer once you get up there, okay? But like purple should be better than blue. Is better than green. We've all agreed. You know? So I'm okay with yellow being the agreed upon color for being climbable. I don't mind it. It's consistent. But there's other things that we've like instinctively agreed on. Like in a movie, if you crossfade one scene to another, it is agreed upon that there is a gap of time between those two. Whereas if you cut, it is probably a difference in distance rather than time. You're probably cutting to something elsewhere, but if you crossfade, that means you're cutting to later. It's just a language thing.
Honestly, I think if you're running into something that tests this badly, just cut it. You can cut out things that annoy players. Do you really have to have one time where you climb a thing? Is that adding to the narrative? Is it gonna fuck your game all up if you don't badger your player into climbing a few feet up a cliff?
I mean, one of the times that I ran into this problem was actually Demon Souls. In Demon Souls, there are a couple, and I mean maybe a dozen, climbable ledges. You can climb certain chest-high walls in that game, but they are not indicated in any way, shape, or form. And it sucks. It fucking sucks. So the way they fix it is in Dark Souls, they make it so you can't climb. They just made it so you don't climb in any of those games anymore, right? Which is fine. That is an option. If you only have like 2 or 3 instances where climbing is useful, you can take it out of the game, and that's okay. Alternatively, if you've got a game like Tomb Raider or Uncharted or Horizon Zero Dawn, where climbing is a large part of your game, indicate that to the player. Probably better to use the yellow paint there. It's not an always solution, but it's a tool to use. It's part of the vocabulary of games. Right? Or climbable boxes.
I've known the
give you a
brothers
prop
used
to
to be some
mount
kind
out of
of rock
nowhere.
stars, but it hadn't really sunk in until I saw the stage.
Ow! Run! Incoming! There's too many of them!
Barry, what did you do? Okay, we've just got to the best part of the game. Here we go. And I've got one last point about the yellow paint, and it's that if your climbing mechanics work like Death Stranding or Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, where everything is climbable, or Shadow of the Colossus. If everything in your game is climbable in some way, you don't need to indicate that, really. That's fine. You don't really need to do that, because you can climb anything. In stuff like Uncharted, there's like specific climbable paths. So it's like, I don't know. I don't mind that. Anyway, fucking banger alert. If you got like some dance emotes, now is a good time.
Everyone stop what you're doing and pay attention to this.
I'm so glad you decided to go it alone, Mr. Bronson.
Shut up and shoot.
Heavy duty lantern, let's go.
Ow! We We have to fight them off! I can set off more of the fireworks from here and help you out!
There we go.
Hey, Al! Did you notice there's a little ammo and stuff around? This place is stocked! Al, hold on! I'll try to get the stage lights on! Yes! Here we go! Barry Wheeler to the rescue! Oh, damn it! Goddamn turn of the century wiring! Hang on, Al! I'll get them working again, I promise!
There we go. Pump action should be good.
Yes! Al! Stay in the light! No! Why do you keep doing this to me? Do it for Barry, please, please, please!
Have to dub this song out? No! You leave it. You leave all this in. If we have to contact Poets of the Fall to get the rights to this, I'll do it. I'll email Remedy. Oh god, there's a lot of them. The old gods of Asgard knew how to party.
That was awesome!
Bright Falls, rock and roll capital of America.
Whew.
We love a big Remedy set piece.
We do. I think this might be the first time. No? Did they do this in Max Payne? I feel cleansed. I do. It's cathartic, you know? Did not. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Al! This way to the farm!
They wound up... Okay. So they do this in this game. In Control, they bring back Poets of the Fall, also known in-game as the Old Gods of Asgard, for the Ashtray Maze. And in Alan Wake 2... Yeah, you'll see. But these musical numbers are fantastic. I like them. It's interesting because what they're doing here is making a parallel between the way that Alan is using his art against the dark presence and the way that the old gods of Asgard are doing the same. Their art is this heavy metal music, and we're using it against the Taken, right? Art is not just... They want to portray art as not the problem. Like, Alan's going to come to the conclusion that he should just stop writing, and that'll stop the dark presence, but it does not. This game definitely wants to come to the conclusion...
Death by stereo. Excellent.
Excellent. This game definitely wants to come to the conclusion that art is good, and art is useful against the dark presence. AKA capitalism. We are raging against the machine. We can use it to fight back. Take Control from Control is specifically licensed to allow you to stream it. Not sure about that song. I'll bet you it's similar. No, Bun, that's a different band. I know, but you know. God, that song is great. This area is a little bit tonally dissonant if you do believe that the Taken are all people from town, though. Because we did just murder, like, maybe 30 or 40 people. That may have been residents of Bright Falls. So that's a little weird. That's a little weird if that's the case. I like to believe that it's not. 30 to 50 wild boys, yeah. Just got rocked out. Shed their inhibitions, yeah. But it happened in a sick musical number, it can't be morally objectionable. True. Yeah, true. Nothing that ever happens during a sick musical number has ever been morally objectionable in media before. Definitely. 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 They resemble the resonance the dark presence has taken. I think, okay, so it seems like there are some people who are taken over by the darkness and become taken. But it also seems like there are some people who are just part of the story that are just written wholesale as Taken. You know what I mean?
See, bestseller? No reason to worry. Your cutout's good as new, right where I left it.
Thanks,
I'll
Barry.
come back for it once we have the place secured.
Yeah, that's been my biggest worry all this time.
God fucking damn it.
We need to get this thing moved out of the way.
This is as far as I got before they ambushed me.
It's good it hasn't rained, yeah. Give me 1 sec, I'll be right back. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Good stuff. Also, this is an okay puzzle, because at least they show you what your objective is here. Like, it's pretty obvious you want to go for the green blinky thing, right? Probably. I mean, I feel like most people wouldn't look up there, because players don't look up. Unless there's a light. Unless you put a light on it, they're not going to look up. So it's a little bit inconvenient to put it up there, you know? Gamers are like dogs, they can't look up. Would your first thought in this situation be to move the massive tank or just look for another way in? You know? Maybe look for another way in. Honestly, you're not wrong. I mean, there's probably a bit. I know there's a back door for sure.
Hey, I think Alan Wake here has something to say. What's that, Al?
Ooh, I'm Alan Wake. I'm always right about everything. And if I don't get my way, I'll sulk all day long. I'm always intense and moody. It makes me very attractive and mysterious. Right now, I'm just standing here because I need my best friend Barry to carry me. But that's okay. I can just take him for granted.
I think I see what you did there.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You want me to do my imitation of Barry Wheeler? No? Thought so.
Wow, he's got my number. I love Barry so much. You sweetie.
Put a ring on it, Wake.
Seriously, though, how much better does this game get now that Barry's in it? Like, I feel like once Barry's in the game, it just gets better. Too much wandering around in the woods, not enough hanging out with Barry.
Wow! You look at that thing, Al? They really went all out with this Viking crap, didn't they?
Cool.
Look at all this stuff. They must have done okay for themselves, so how come I never heard of these guys before?
And this from the guy who learned about Ozzy Osbourne through reality TV?
Alan Wake 3. Oups, le bariste.
I'd play it. So this show is canon in Alan Wake. Yeah. Yeah. Alan Wake's got a lot of... they keep referencing, like, Stephen King, Ozzy Osbourne. Like, there's all of these artists that exist inside the Alan Wake universe. Interesting to see. They never mentioned Twin Peaks, though.
We all spend a third of our
Night
dreams in its
Springs.
soft embrace,
Man,
somewhere
brings back
between
memories.
fantasy and
Hey,
oblivion.
remember when I got you that gig?
But
Your
dreams
first
have a
real
way of
writing
forcing
job. What got
themselves
you
into
started?
waking life,
Was this one of
or
your
vice
episodes?
versa. In Night Springs.
The spooky door.
Tonight's episode, The Dream of Dreams.
That's by someone else.
We join Mr. Jones as he explores the endless dreamscape, only to be brought to a sudden stop by a decidedly mundane situation. A long line of people.
Hey, Jones, right? Listen, we're gonna have to wait until His Highness over there is good and ready. Oh, wow. Who's that? You don't know him? What are you, new? He's the guy dreaming us. Well, not just us. He dreams everything. All of this.
But wait, no. I'm the one who's dreaming. I'm asleep. Isn't this my dream?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Get real, pal. You're just another dream. I'm a dream. You're a dream. The weirdo in the diving suit is a dream. And the girl made of smiles and sunshine is definitely a dream.
But I'm pretty sure I'm dreaming this.
Well, maybe you're a really confused dream. What am I, a shrink? All I know is I'm going with the smart guys. And they say that's the guy doing the dreaming. Right
Hey, I'm
there.
dreaming over here.
I don't know what that means.
It means we keep him happy. No sudden falls. We make sure he has his clothes on when he goes out in public. No chases where the monster is nipping at his heels and he runs like crazy, but his legs don't seem to get him anywhere. None of that. Because if he wakes up in a cold sweat... Yeah, precisely. So we wait till he wants to move on. Keep things nice and calm.
Hey, something's happening here.
Yeah? What's that?
What? Can't you hear that?
Oh, God help us. It's an alarm clock. Oh, it's you, isn't it? Please, man, I got a wife and kids. Please don't wake.
I gotta say, the acting in those Night Springs episodes is appropriately terrible. That was silly. It is silly and cheesy, but it's not bad, actually. I don't know. It's kind of cute. If you're gonna make like a really, really bite-sized Twilight Zone episode, it's not too bad. It's also appropriate to what's going on in the story, right? Because like, oh, if somebody's dreaming all this up, it's Alan Wake at the bottom of the lake, right? His art is becoming real. So like, what are we? Are we just characters in his story? When he finishes the story and stops writing, do we just cease to exist? It's cute. It's fun.
It's 1976. Madness reigns at the Anderson farm.
Chaos reigns.
The headiest ingredient of their moonshine is unfiltered water from Cauldron Lake.
Huh?
The Andersons feel like gods.
Don't do
Odin
that.
Can't stop laughing. He contemplates cutting his eye out. Tor runs across the field, naked, shrieking, hammer in his hand, trying to catch lightning. Their songs have power. Something ancient is stirring in the depths, coming back.
When the stream ends, do I still exist? Do I?
The Viking boat looked imposing, almost like a battering ram.
That's the dumbest metaphor. That's the worst one Alan's done. Right? Oh, it's almost like we could use it to get through that door. Almost like a battering ram. Jesus. 1975 Ragnarok tour. Yo, I want to go to that though. I want to visit that. Had to stop in Jacksonville, I guess. They went to Detroit and then Florida? But they didn't stop off in Chicago at all. You kidding me? This tour is all over the place, isn't it? Washington to California, that makes sense. To New York. And then Jersey, that makes sense. But then Michigan? And then Florida? I mean, I guess. I feel like there's a more convenient way to set that up. '70s rock bands came from here. Yeah, that's true. It's almost like a battering ram. It smashed through the door like a battering ram. Oh, jeez. Yeah! Goodness gracious. Alright, get the fuck out of here, y'all. All of y'all. Worst writer in the world? I have read worse. I have read much, much worse. He's not the best. He's not great. But like I have Oh my god, that knife is huge. Barry, where are you? Oh, I hate these guys. Yeah, I get it. You're invisible.
We get up with the sun and the farm.
More of you?
Oh, jeez. Suddenly surrounded. So many huge bands back then. I remember I saw back in Chicago, House of Blues. I saw Gorillaz before they became really big. I liked them. They were a lot of fun. They had a great show. I was suddenly surrounded, as if being surrounded.
You are invisible and or teleporting enemies in video games.
I think one of my favorite concerts I went to was Twisted 7. Let me see here. It was like a Q101 concert, which was a local Chicago station. Here we go. Here's the lineup for this concert I went to in December of 2000. Mind you, 2000. Aeon! Oh my goodness. So long, dear Lord. Love you, boy. Love you too. Oh my gosh, you silly bear. I hope you're well. Let me see. So this concert I went to in 2000 had Everlast, Orgy, Cypress Hill, Disturbed, Incubus, The Offspring, Papa Roach, and the Deftones. Like, it was a lineup at the time, okay? That was a lineup. It was very 2000. Incubus and Papa Roach were just like starting to get big, I think. Whereas The Offspring, I think they came out with their first album in a long while. But yeah, damn good lineup. Oh, but one of those is terrible. Fuck you. They were great. It was a great concert. There's Barry. Offspring hot off their newfound video game fame? Yeah.
Wow, those geezers had quite a production going on. Ooh, you know what, Al? If we make it through this alive, I'm gonna start representing them. Yep, sell this stuff online, maybe get a reality show going, release a new single.
Good luck with that, pal.
Hey, you find us a way out of here, okay?
You know what's cute is that Barry's right. After the events of this game, he actually does become the producer for the Old Gods of Asgard.
Get a closer look at this stuff.
It's cute. It's good.
Be careful, Al!
And he actually does a pretty good job of it. We like Barry. I think I remember having trouble with this section. For reasons.
I'm good. Keep your eyes open, okay?
Greatest subversion of the celebrity agent type character? For real, yeah. Yeah, it's a cute subversion. The same way that, like, Nightingale is kind of a subversion of the FBI character that you would expect from, like, a Twin Peaks inspired thing. Barry is also not quite what you'd expect, but in a positive way instead of Nightingale, who's a huge piece of shit.
As you regular listeners know, I tend to work through the night, but I'm not the only one. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton are taking a couple of moments off their busy schedule to join me here in the studio. Boys, how busy are you now? Deerfest is almost here, isn't it? I bet that keeps you in business.
Pretty busy, yeah. Actually, Pat, we've been real busy with other stuff, which concerns an ongoing investigation. We can't talk about that, Thornton. I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just saying we got, you know, other irons to fry.
And how would you compare your workload to last year's? Things have seemed relatively peaceful to me, but people do tend to get a little wild this time of year.
Boy, do they.
It's wild, Pat. It's pretty wild. There's been all sorts of trouble this year. Vandalism, fighting, public disturbances. A lot of people gone missing, too.
Yeah.
Keeping a lot of fish in the fire, yeah.
Stuff, Pat.
Lots of fishes in the fire.
A lot more of it.
Now, is it just me, or does Deerfest get wilder every year? People seem to be more drunk, at least, or they start earlier and younger.
Oh, it's definitely not just you, Pat, but...
Definitely, Pat.
Hey, I'm talking here, Thornton. Oh, shoot, I lost my train of thought.
Not just me.
Oh, yeah, it's wilder, Pat, but actually most of the trouble seems to be coming from grown men. People who ought to know better, you know? Kids are doing fine this year.
Well, that's nice to hear at least. Boys, I want to thank you for stopping by. I'll let you get back to your patrol.
Sure thing, Pat.
Yeah, sure thing, Pat.
People do be loving deer. Understandably so. Nightingale thought Bright Falls Diners made a damn fine cup of coffee. It would be kind of cute, yeah. He doesn't, though. He hates coffee, and trees, and small towns, and the people who live in them. He hates all that shit.
I could see the building that had to be the Andersons' home on the other side of the field. It wasn't far now. I wasn't worried about trusting the ramblings
Look at that
of
long
two
house, that's
burned-out
great.
geriatric wrecks. They had the goods.
The goods. Must you? He takes his coffee with fish in the percolator. There was a fish in the percolator. Sure.
You've got to be kidding me.
Where was the manuscript page that said Alan attacked by Combine Thresher?
65 billion.
Agent Nightingale hates you and all the bands you like, and thinks your local sports team is terrible. Classic heel.
Going for the cheap heat, yeah.
I've got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key.
I got a brand new combine harvester. You know how I keep making comparisons between Hideo Kojima and Sam Lake? I just want to point out that Metal Gear Solid and Alan Wake both have giant industrial machines that roar for some reason. Inexplicably making dinosaur noises. Just saying. G-Man in that one sequence of Psychonauts? Oh, for real. Did you know that's Steve Bloom? That's Spike Spiegel. I am a doting housewife. We are the road crew. Our backs are killing us.
Al? Is that you out there, buddy?
Yeah, it's me. Hang on.
Hey, let's go, man.
This is because the Thresher's possessed, and in Metal Gear Solid it's because Otacon made it do that for Web Race.
I think we're gonna have to work together to open this gate, Al. Looks pretty heavy.
Alrighty.
Ah! Hey, I think that's the farm on the other side of the field. We're almost there. This farm is a crazy place for crazy people.
We should feel right at home then.
So one thing...
Question. Why is Barry's jacket luminously red?
Luminously. I guess that's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Zixky. I like the game design choice to give him a big red puffy jacket. Yeah. It's hard to lose him, which is great. The heck was the other thing I was gonna say? The heck else what I was gonna say? Nope, I lost it.
Come on, one more gig. Let's do this thing.
It's a very bright jacket. I do like it. Lost mentioned? Okay, kinda.
Lights are out. I guess we better check the fuse box.
In the Valley of My Shadow. Wait a minute, that's the painting that was in the, in Hartman's place. Huh. Were they painting an album cover?
The power downstairs was out, but I was sure I could fix that at the fuse box.
They've also got it on the wall here. They really like them wolves, don't they? Did they go gold? More fireworks? No, that's a bathroom. Where's the basement?
Come on, Al, let's get the lights on, huh?
Alright, Barry, how do you suggest we do that? If I was a basement... in a Viking longhouse... which is actually just a facade built over a regular house. Interesting. Then you wouldn't exist. Well, yeah, probably. I don't know if I ever noticed before that it's like a half-finished facade that they're just putting on this regular house. It's cute.
You know, this place looks kind of lived in. I thought the Andersons were in the booby.
Wow, it's almost like this world is a loosely veiled metaphor.
Yeah, I don't think they keep too close an eye on them at the clinic. They seem to slip away a lot so they can get wasted.
No kidding. Those guys
Oh my
sound
gosh.
awesome.
Oh heckin' finally. I got the stupid sword. Now to get murdered by gargoyles.
Good luck.
Again, Alice's screams rang in the stillness of the night. I saw myself run toward the cabin, flashlight
In the dark of the night, evil will find her.
body observer, a time traveler, a crazy drunken dream. This was the beginning. The night Alice had disappeared. The mystery of what had happened during the missing week was about to reveal itself.
Aww, look at them beds. Was that Anastasia? Yes. Fuse box count. 2. 3?
Can you hear that, Al? Music?
Of course, we need to find where it's coming from. That's the message the Andersons talked about. That's the whole reason we're here.
Lady of the Light? Oh, that's gotta be what's-her-face, the crazy lamp lady from the town.
Cynthia Weaver.
Right. Must be. Okay.
We need to find Cynthia Weaver.
Cute.
We'll stay here for the night and head back to town as soon as it gets light.
Hey, Al. Lots of hours before dawn. Might as well get some rest. And by rest, I mean drunk.
Come on, Barry, this is... Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, fuck it.
I'm sorry about that. No, seriously, because I know we don't get along, but we're gonna find her, right? And even though you're a crazy bastard, I'm gonna stick by you, no matter what, ever, Al. Sure, like a brother.
I'm a writer, goddammit.
Correct.
If I just wanted to, I could write 10 books a year. And they'd be the best books that year.
No, you couldn't.
That's right, I couldn't. But I could, because I'm a writer.
What? What do they put in this stuff? I feel like my brain is coming out of my nose. I'm gonna get the recipe off those coots and be a booze millionaire.
I just miss her, Barry. I just want her here with me.
I know, Al. I know. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna make it okay.
Al, I could imagine Al being a sad drunk. Barry seems like he'd be fun, though. This might be the best written scene in the game. For real, though, yeah. It's really good. Oh. Okay, this is cool. This is really cool. There's a dream happening where we're not playing as Alan Wake. Liz! Hi, Raiders. How's it going tonight? Heckin' good to see you. Twinborn, thank you for 22 months. Oh my goodness. Alan Woke has gone Alan Bro. Not really, he's pretty rich. For dreaming would be Alan Sleep. His name is A Wake.
Of the NSFW version of this game? It's Alan Stroke.
Okay. Sure. Started TG16 quest today? Oh my goodness. Devil's Crush? Did you have a Devil's Crush on anyone in the game? Merkitty! Thank you so much for the follow, my fur and whiskers. Oh my goodness. Banui! I wanted to Devil's Crush me with her thighs? Yeah, that's fair. That's pretty good.
I can't with these puns. I'm going out for an Allen smoke.
Oh my goodness. Well, welcome on into Alan Wake, y'all. I'm doing some heckin' analysis. Some fucking talk about just a game I enjoy.
Ow. Fun. Why did you give chat the ability to tart me directly? What terrible power have you unleashed?
I'm sorry. I swear, Sam Lake, the writer of this game, is a Finnish version of Hideo Kojima. We were trapped by an evil therapist whose name is Emil Hartman. And I showed chat this earlier, but I'm gonna show it again because I think it's really stupid and I love it. But his name is Emil Hartman. But what if I took an eraser and I did this? Oh no! And now, okay, because he's heart man because he's a therapist, because he's heart, because he's emotional, because he's a heart man, but he's Emil Hartman. It's gotta be on purpose because the main character's name is Awake. Pride month. Yeah. Oh my god. Evil Hartman, you mean Butch? True. Yeah, it's weird to see Butch Hartman being such a piece of shit when he made something as transcoded as fucking Danny Phantom. I guess I don't want to credit him with making that, but like, you know.
Next you'll tell me Die Hardman is some sort of reference to something.
He wants Alan to make art, man. Yo, true. Mm-hmm. He came up with the idea. The actual writers made it good. True. Yeah. Yeah. Evil art man. We did it. You did it. We did it. We put it together. We've connected the dots. I've done it. I've connected them. Case closed.
Hey, Bun, how about you go to your room and get to writing? I'll mark it on your map.
There's a character in, what is his name in Quantum Break? Is it Martin Hatch? I believe there's a character named Martin Hatch in Quantum Break. And there's a character that's oddly similar in Alan Wake 2 named Warlin Door. Like if you take the M and turn it upside down in Martin and you wind up with Warlin. It's Lance. Is it Lance Reddick in Quantum Break? Oh my god. I don't know. It's cute. There's a lot of these.
I'm just glad it's not Evil H Art Man.
Oh. like hentai art. Yeah, I get it. Okay. H art. It's called hentai and it's an art form. Oh my god. New villain of my latest book, Rich Goldman, who's the leader of the religious cult, the Church of the Number. Go up.
Damn, Paige beat me to it.
It's hentai and it is art. Oh my god. Well, welcome on in, y'all. It's great to see you. Oh, thank you, Raptor. Oh my goodness. You're so sweet. I want Death Stranding 2 to be weirder. Gonna be honest. You know what's one thing I don't quite get about Kojima though? Gold Richmond? I like Gold Richmond better. Rich Goldman is a little bit too close to being like possibly anti-Semitic. Gold Richmond I don't get the same vibes from. I like that better. Have a doggo? Oh, doggo good. Can't pull this off. I like sincerely get this energy. Exactly, yeah. Goldie Richmond. So the thing is, I feel like a lot of people say that like Kojima makes games because he can't make movies, but like I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. Like I feel like at this point Kojima could make a movie if he really wanted to, but like Kojima's games are doing such things with the medium of games that you couldn't really do in film. He can make movies now. He doesn't want to. Exactly. Like he's making games that are using elements of film that he likes. But like, you know, I don't feel like it's, oh, he just is doing this instead of making a movie. And it, no. Mm-hmm. The weird mechanical interactions are absolutely brilliant. Yeah, there's a lot of things in there that just you can't do with a movie. It would be too restrictive. I won't be shamed for enjoying my postman simulator. Death Stranding's got some really interesting stuff in it when talking about like extinction events and the nature of death as a process rather than as a binary. There's some really interesting stuff going on in that game, but I don't know. I wish there was more of it. I just wish it was weirder, you know what I mean? And I think Death Stranding 2 might be. I think it might be unabashedly weirder, which is good. But I really want to see what Kojima's other projects are going to be. Whatever his espionage game is going to be, or that horror experience he's making. Where do the whales come in? They're part of the stranding, because whales will sometimes strand themselves on the beach in order to die. They will throw themselves out of the place where they live and into an inhospitable environment for the purpose of dying.
Bun, do you have the tea tonight or the can of Full Throttle?
I finished a Red Bull and now I'm just drinking water. Like a real suicidal? I think it's generally the older ones that'll do that, but I don't know for sure. I mean, an electric guntar? Yeah. I mean, it's a guitar and an axe, because a guitar is sometimes called an axe, but it's an electric guitar, right? So it has to shoot lightning because it's electric.
Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure Daisuke Ishiwatara just makes Guilty Gear games so he can make kick-ass music for them.
Yeah. BB's theme came in for a second with that power guitar. Yeah, but it was also the American national anthem that he was riffing out while shooting lightning because he's an American. He's American. Also might be inhabiting Amelie's body. It's unclear. We're not really sure. That might be Higgs in Higgs is Ka inside Amelie's Ha. Right? Because the Ka and Ha are the two parts of the self in Egyptian mythology, where you got the body and the soul, and right. So both of those were left on the beach because that's where Higgs dies on the beach. So his Ka is trapped there, and Amelie is left there. So that's her Ha, and so I think okay. Is this a sex thing? I think it's a gender thing. How many tech bros or video game executives would be villains in the Metal Gear universe? That's a good question. Tech bros definitely, because I feel like Metal Gear Solid 2 and 4 have a lot to say about the use of like AI as a abusive process. But video game executives don't really show up in Kojima games as such. What they would show up in...
Still not as rad as alternate history Jimi Hendrix cranking his guitar to blast the American national anthem and shredding at fascists before dying.
What video game executives would show up in is a Yoko Taro game. And you would be able to fight them as bosses and kill them. Because that happens in Nier Automata. You could fight Square Enix executives. Act like they're just as powerful as the Lolly Lulelo, but they're fucking incompetent idiots with no power who shit themselves on screen. Yeah. The thing that I think Metal Gear Solid 4 and like 2 and 4 want to instill in the audience is that the bad guy in those games is not a guy. Like the Patriots aren't evil because they're people who are bad. They are like they don't exist. They are a system. So I feel like Kojima would make a game that's not about specific like CEOs, but about the fact that capitalism requires people to own factories and things like that.
CEO.
That the ownership of production as a system is bad, you know? Like, I feel like that's the thing. I watched the game somewhere else. Oh, that's okay. I hope it was interesting, because Alan Wake 2 has a lot going on. Okay. I'll talk about Alan Wake some more. I don't know about anybody else, but I could no longer take Metal Gear Solid 2 seriously from the first time I heard Lolly Lule Lo. Do you know where that... I think I explained it before. You probably know this, but the word lalilulelo comes from Japanese, where the language is syllabalistic, so consonant syllable. So you have ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, and ra, ri, ru, re, ro, and ta, chi, tsu, te, to, you know? So like, there's all of those, but the L sound, the L, doesn't exist in Japanese. They have an R sound that is similar.
Deck, chat. We're back to MGS analysis.
Yeah, I know. So it is the letters that would exist if Japanese had an L sound, but it doesn't. So it's like they're letters that don't exist in Japanese. They're like not letters. They follow all the conventions of being a letter, but they don't exist because that phoneme doesn't exist in Japan. Which I think is interesting. I don't know. I think that's cool. English doesn't have an analog to that. You can't localize it. You have to call them the lalilulelo. There's no way to do that.
Lalilulelo multipass.
Lalilulelo Dallas multipass, yeah. It is a shibboleth, yes. Okay, so we are now in a dream sequence in Alan Wake where we are watching Alan Wake go back to the island, but what are we playing as?
Alice, I'm coming. It's all right. I'm coming.
Because I'm in first person right
drunken
now.
Dream, and yet it was more than that. It was the truth, a suppressed memory unearthed by the Andersons' moonshine. I was there, an out-of-body observer. This was the night Alice and I had arrived at Bright Falls, the night Alice had disappeared. I had a chance to find out what had happened. I remembered being surprised to see the cabin dark. Alice would have never turned the lights off.
Are we the dark presence? Very possibly. I do want to point out here, and I know I've pointed it out before, but I really like the fact that Barbara Jagger, Kringus Ringus, thank you so much for the follow, my furry whiskers. Barbara Jagger gave us the key to come to her bird leg cabin. She's Baba Yaga. She's a witch. She's Baba Yaga famously has a house that walks on bird legs. We are playing a walking simulator. Birds are also a big part of the iconography of this game. Like, we get attacked by birds in several places. The house seems to have a bit of a... Yeah, it does have a beak to it in its, like, silhouette. That is, I think, meant to parallel Twin Peaks, which uses owls as iconography in a lot of its sets. And its story.
I remembered thinking I caught a glimpse of her form underwater, sinking into the darkness. Diving after her was the last vague memory I had of that night. After that, the next thing I could remember was waking up behind the wheel of the crashed car and finding the first pages of the manuscript. I couldn't find her in all that blackness. I must have thought she drowned.
This isn't what happened.
Alice!
Jagger had Alice, and so she had me.
Alice!
I'd been easy prey.
Look at the cabin.
We get to see that we were playing as Barbara Jagger.
Alice?
Maybe she didn't drown after all. Maybe she's inside.
Alice!
Yes.
Or were we? We do have the moves like Barbara Jagger.
She had dug her nails into my brain and used me, made me her puppet.
Was that good? Did you like it? Sounds kind of hot.
She must be here somewhere. Maybe upstairs in the study.
Alice!
Yes, that's where she is. You can apologize.
Alice!
You'll laugh at the whole thing together and put it behind you.
Also, I do want to point out this shoebox filled with Thomas Zane's books. This is important for later.
Alice?
She's not here. You were foolish to think so. No, she's dead. She drowned.
Poetry books, yes.
No, no, no!
It's your fault your wife is dead. You are guilty. All she wanted was to help you right. You killed her. Oh, hush. There's still hope. Cauldron Lake is a special place. Here, you have the power to change things. She wanted you to write. I will tell you what to do.
It just occurred to me.
Look at me, Alan. I am the awake now.
It just occurred to me that what she's doing, feeding him his own thoughts, kind of, yeah, but she's also... So I said the dark presence doesn't have the ability to be creative. It can't come up with its own plans, right? It can't, like, think for itself without an outside, outside creativity. So, like, where does it come up with the idea to do this plan? To convince Alan that his wife is dead and that he can write her back alive using his art, right? And I think it's because this is what Tom Zane does. She's repeating the process of Thomas Zane writing Barbara Jagger back to life and releasing the dark presence in the first place. It's kind of learning, yes, but it's more just recontextualizing. It's repeating a process that it knows works.
You can write her back. The story will come true.
It's a reboot, yeah.
And all will be well again.
She had Alice, and the manuscript was the ransom for her. Yes. All right. I'll fix it. I'll bring her back. No. I wrote it. I remembered it all now. In the dark, I'd written for days, a week, almost a complete manuscript of a novel entitled Departure. Jagger had been my editor, whispering in my ear, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful. I thought I was saving Alice. Even with the cobweb she put in my head, some part of me had been aware enough to write my escape into the story, to bring a light into the cabin to release me before I could finish, to interrupt the horror story before the ending, where darkness consumed everything and everyone. Zane was weak and far away, but I had written him into the story, and his light had been enough to set me free.
It isn't here now. I'm here because it was written. I brought the light to set you free. You must hurry. We'll know I'm here. It will be back soon. It stole the skin of my Barbara a long time ago. She looks so old.
Zane sounds like Master Guru from Xavier Renegade Angel. As far, I believe in this first game, he is voiced by the same voice of Max Payne. I believe that's Max Payne's voice actor. Zane's lines feel low effort, very rough draft, very first draft, yeah, first pass. maybe redo those ones. But that's okay, because there's two things going on here. One of which is Wake didn't escape from the lake. The idea that he escaped the lake and then ran into the cabin and then sat down to write, that's all happening inside the lake. He never got out. He's still there. He just thinks he got out, right? Wake's escape from the lake was fake. And the character that does get out is the character that does escape from the lake is the character Alan Wake that he is writing. Same actor as Dr. Darling. Dr. Darling has the same... Okay, Dr. Darling is played by the voice actor of Alan Wake. But not the face actor of Alan Wake. Which is why he looks different, but he sounds the same. Shit's confusing.
I had woken up, confused and groggy, my mind consumed by darkness and fear. All I could do was to escape. The week spent in the cabin had taken its toll. I was barely conscious and fading fast. It had to have cost Zane terribly, thrown him even deeper into whatever dark place he now haunted. But he had managed to weaken the dark presence, kept me safe that night. I wrote it. It's my fault.
That's right, James Joyce. It's your fault, and you're gonna pay for it.
Jesus Christ. I hate Nightingale so much. Guy fucking sucks. Ah. Okay, I think this song is safe. I don't think this one's gonna get muted. That's what got muted with the VOD was fine. Yeah, I don't think I said anything interesting. Hmm. I got a question for y'all. I don't think this is the case, but because the art becomes real, do you think the old gods of Asgard making and producing this song is what gives Alan the out? Are they planting the seed for him to be able to do this by writing these instructions? I don't think it's necessarily the case because I don't think the Dark Presence wants to use their art anymore.
Previously on Alan Wake.
I don't think the Dark Presence is going to be using the old gods of Asgard to do anything anymore. For reasons that I will explore later, maybe in Alan Wake 2. It is possible that the reason that you can reshape destiny is because this song gives you the instructions to do so, and that that has changed the world in a fundamental way that allows that to happen. It's unclear if Zane is intentionally writing versus what the old gods are writing versus what Alan is writing. Exactly. I think that all of these are in confluence with each other. It's really interesting. It's kind of the way that art works, right? Because art will inspire other artists to create, and back and forth. The things that are being written by somebody else will inspire others to make their own art. Not out of it, but fueled by it, you know? It's kind of neat. Nightingale is the key to all of this. He's a sillier character than we've ever had before, but if we can get Nightingale to work, that's the key to this whole thing. He's a funnier character than we've had before. My God. Benui. So let me see. We are on episode 5 out of 6. I feel like I remember the last one being pretty short. Yeah, I think the last one's pretty short. So maybe if we stop here, we can bang out the rest of the game in one more session. I'm sorry. Is it known what happened to the old gods of Asgard's guitarist? That's a great question. There are pictures of a third member of the band in Alan Wake 2, but absolutely no mention of him as far as I can find. Just completely non-existent. Which is interesting. That the third member is Loki? Maybe. Bob Balder. Oh, Balder makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Mentioned the band broke up before the Andersons came to Bright Falls. There was a Loki and a Balder. Ah, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Such a weird character in comparison to everyone else. Even like Barry is somewhat grounded, but Nightingale comes out of nowhere and starts shooting at Alan in front of the civilians and just acting weird. So weird. Yes. So weird. Mentioned in American Nightmare their bassist died of leukemia. Oh, that's a shame. I guess that makes sense. I never played American Nightmare. Maybe I should. Odinson, wife of Frigg, brother of Thor, and who dies after being shot by an arrow of mistletoe? Is that right? Oh, sorry, son of Frigg, yeah. Don't bother with American Nightmare. It's bad. I mean, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's whatever. Still canon, but not important. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably not the most important thing in the series. But that's okay. Are you gonna play the DLC? That's a good question too, because I've never played Alan Wake 1's DLC. I've not played American Nightmare or the DLC, and maybe I should. I might have to. I hear they're pretty alright. They literally split Alan into Jungian archetypes? Okay, well then I guess I have to. That's the kind of shit that I feel like I should talk about. Yeah, that would be cool.